Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CAD Technologies. Today, in this video, we are again going back to our part modeling, wherein you can see the drawing on the screen. This is basically a third angle projection drawing. So, as you can see, this is the front view, this is the right view, and this is the top view. First, before starting the modeling, we need to understand the views which we have just seen. Apart from that, we also have to decide on the origin of our model. Over here, we can consider this as the origin as well, but since the body is directly onto the cylindrical object, it is a little more convenient to take this as the 0, because the projection might interfere with the circle. This particular rib support might interfere with the circle. So let's not wait. Let's begin making this very simple model. As I've already told you, considering this as the 0, I'd like to use a simple shaft command to make this cylinder first, which is of dia 44 and length 90. Again, beginning, since I'm working on part modeling, again start mechanical design and part design. Under this, I have a shaft command. You can directly use it, or of course you can make a sketch prior to the command. Then under selection, I'm trying to make a sketch. Let us make an axis and start making our profile. Now, the overall diameter is actually 44, and the overall height of the body is 90. The cylindrical body is 90. It creates a cylindrical body, as you can see on the screen. Now, to achieve this shape, we need to again remove a certain amount of material off of the existing cylinder. So we can actually use a groove command to do that. Again, groove. You can make a sketch prior to it as well. Edit. Again, I'm taking a sketch. I can use the previous axis itself, but the references I have to use the cylindrical references, as you can see. Now let's try to make the sketch of what we'd like to remove of the cylinder and maintain. Now the distance from here to here is actually 6, and they are already given typical. That means the 6 at the bottom also is pretty much the same. So let me try to take 6 here and maintain the same onto the other side. Now the diameter of this is 34 dia, so let's try to give 34 dia and then exit. Now it tries to remove the existing. Now this is a very simple one. Now understanding the feature based approach and maintaining the constraints and following the process. To make this, first we need to maintain 100 and then maintain the plate with length, which is 6. So first, to do so, let's try to take our references. For example, from here towards that side, opposite side, I have a plane at 100, and the feature whatever is starting is not actually starting from 100, but it is starting after the plate. The plate is actually 6, so let's try to take another plane and give it 6. So I'll be making the feature on this plane rather than on the edge plane. So again, on this plane, you can directly try to make a sketch. If you're not comfortable, you can go into your right view and check how the model is. This is the correct right view at the moment. I can also go back into your isometric view to show you the model. This is my reference which I'll be using. From here, this is the center is the axis. From here, I'd like to take a small rectangle by maintaining symmetry. Now, symmetry is needed because it's exactly at the center and it is located evenly on both the sides, which 4 typical. So this I'd like to maintain symmetry first and then give the distance of this to be 6. No, this distance to be, the distance is 6 actually, 6 typical is there. No? Distance is supposed to be 6. The overall length of this is till the end. So let's try to coincide it till there. Exit. To add the material, I can add it up to the next by simply using pad. I can simply say up to next, it adds through the body. If you had taken this feature first to do so, it will similarly create the same issue as you can see. It won't exactly coincide like this. There'll be a gap in between the feature. Again, you might have to add on the existing body. Now, we also know the feature which is on this plane, so let's try to take that as well. It begins from the top face, so I'm using this as my reference again. And then I'll start making it using my profile. So using my profile, this is the start point, goes down, creates an arc and ends here. I'd like to mirror these two onto the opposite side. That's why I have exited the command there and then join them together. I'll coincide them in a bit. Now, understanding the dimensions, we know the overall length of this is again 100. So let's try to take that as 100. Since there's symmetry, they will maintain the dimensions. We know this is also 40. So let's try to take that as 40. The center of the arc from the end is actually 120. So let's try to take this as 120. Now the arc dimension is also given, which is supposed to be R20. Now that the sketch is completely constrained, we know how much to add this to. The material is only up to 6, but since we have already taken a reference earlier for 6, instead of repeating that, I just try to select the plane as the reference, so it tries to add the material. This is how you'll be working on a simple model wherein you have a combination of plates and selection of your origin. Now the remaining are very easy parts. So the first thing is I need to take this ribs. As you can see, they are called supports or stiffeners. They are located exactly at the center. So let me try to take a plane at the center since I have not maintained symmetry in the beginning. Which is around 45. On this, I'd like to make the stiffener. First, let me. Okay. Now let's try to make a sketch on this plane and create the stiffener. The stiffener is actually starting from the inner plate. So while taking the reference, we have to be extremely careful of choosing the inner and not the outer face of a circle. So we can use this, the inner. As you can see, now I'll just try to make it concentrate. Yes, and now I'll be using this one as well as my reference. Now I'd like to make a line. As you can see, it's actually a line which is starting from here and ending over there, which are with certain dimensions. So I'll begin and end. It has to maintain tangency at this location. So let me try to maintain tangency and then try to give a dimension from the center to 30. Now exit. We can use the same stiffener command again to give it and then try to give the dimension and then see. Let me edit the sketch. I think it has some open points. There's a center point which is open. Okay. Now again, let's try to give a stiffener and try to give 4. We can mirror the same feature onto the opposite side. Again, use a mirror with respect to the center plane. It also creates a feature onto the opposite side. Now you can try to drill holes. We already know how to do that. The same feature selected. Again, position the sketch. Let's not forget to always maintain concentricity between this, so we don't change our the position when the feature changes. It's up to next, and we know the dimension of it is supposed to be 16. Similarly, there are 3 over here. So I'd like to make a sketch so I can use a user pattern instead of multiply doing it n number of times. So this is the first point which I'd like to keep and dimension it. This is supposed to be at 20 and supposed to be at 16 from this edge. And then I can mirror the same thing onto the opposite side. And then take another point which is actually exactly located in concentric with this. So let's try to maintain concentricity with this arc and then say exit. Now, I'd like to use a user pattern. So before that, first I need to make the hole. So let me try to use this point or any other point to make the hole, and then try to give the dimensions. Dimensions are actually 15 through. Let's try to use pattern. Again, using this, I need to use a simple user pattern, select the points and then say okay, the object is actually the feature. Once I say okay, it tries to give the feature holes as well. This is how you simply make a model using multiple plates and a cylindrical object. To learn more about CATIA and further advanced level of training, please contact us. Our details are given in the description below. Meanwhile, please like and subscribe to our channel for more upcoming tutorials on CATIA from basic to expert level. Thank you.